Joining us now to discuss is Andy No. He is a New York Times bestselling author and journalist, and he serves as senior editor for the Post-Millennial. Andy, thanks for being here.
My pleasure.
Great. So you've been face to face with the sorts of people who are outright celebratory of political assassinations, whether it's Charlie Kirk or the United Healthcare CEO. What is your take on the threat level we are facing here?
Well, watching the footage out of Manhattan of the leftists celebrating the terrorism charges being dismissed, it brought me to a flashback from 2020 in Portland when I was covering the riots. In August of 2020, there was a Antifa gunman, and that's how he described himself in his manifesto, assassinated a Trump supporter in downtown Portland, my home city. And the announcement on the bullhorn of that killing by the leftist activists and Antifa, their reaction was they called the dead man, the victim, a Nazi and a fascist, and then they played music on speakers and held a dance party. I think, or I would hope, that the last several days has been eye-opening for the public, because I've been trying to warn for many years that we are seeing a mainstreaming of not just political violence on the left, but the ultimate form of political violence, which is assassinations and murders. And the widespread support on the left for the brutal assassination of Mr. Kirk didn't happen in a vacuum. It comes in this context of where left-wing violence is celebrated. And we can see that from the reactions online, obviously, and also what's happening now is some of the murals in memory of Mr. Kirk have been vandalized with trans colors, Antifa propaganda, and in Pensacola, Florida, yesterday, the mural there was vandalized with one of the statements that was written on the rifle cartridge that was used in the assassination.
Now, given all that, you've done a lot of legwork on investigating the alleged shooter that is currently in custody and also his transgender romantic partner, who is also his roommate. So I know authorities released some transcripts of some of their messages back and forth around the time of the killing. So what have you been able to unearth about the pair of them? What perhaps was the mindset? What was the milieu, as we're talking about Discord and some of the left-wing banner that we see online? But what are you finding out about them?
Well, a couple of days ago, I think it was a Fox News reporter who had first reported out publicly that it was her sources who told her that the roommate wasn't just a roommate, but was rather a romantic partner and was transgender. And she was completely swarmed and attacked online, called a liar, called transphobic. And then I did some of my own reporting. I also had a source who gave me a potential username online on Steam. And I found the social media profile of the roommate and confirmed it with other details. And he describes himself as trans and being on cross-sex hormones and having some animosity to Christianity. I think what stood out to me in the press conference today, when the prosecutor in Utah County read the alleged back and forth text communication between the suspect and his lover, there's one line where Mr. Robinson allegedly wrote, "Remember the engravings that I was doing?" Something to that effect. I might not be quoting it exactly. But that seems to suggest to me that this roommate was aware that his partner was doing something with rifle cartridges. And we also learned that there was a pre-written kill list note against Charlie that the suspect allegedly wrote down and had under the laptop. And he's been charged with another felony for allegedly instructing his lover to destroy that evidence. And sort of reading between the lines of the Fox News interview that FBI Director Kash Patel did yesterday, he seems to suggest that that note was destroyed by the partner, although that hasn't been officially confirmed.
Well, Andy, we really appreciate all of your hard work on uncovering the truth about this tragic situation. We are out of time. Thank you so much for joining us tonight.
My pleasure.
For all our viewers.